This is a joint initiative from the Wyoming State Library, the Wyoming State Arts Council, and Lifetime Arts. The project was made possible through the generous support from the May and Stanley Smith Charitable Trust and the Wyoming Community Foundation. At any time, if you have questions, please feel free to type it into the chat or to contact the facilitator. And now, let class begin. Enjoy. You people in organizations we'd like to thank.
Is everybody up and running? We're here.
Yes, everybody's ready.
Okay. Okay, today we are doing this. We're doing galactic skies today. Now, in the past, I've had everybody, let me start with this. Everybody needs to tape their one whole sheet of paper right out of your book. We're going to go full size today. So take a sheet of paper out of your book, and then I want you to tape it. You're going to have a really small edge along the, you can have a small, like 1/4 inch going around there. And I just folded it over and taped it on the back like that. Okay. So you're going to want to tape all the way around the edge like we have been all along. And then one piece of tape right through the middle. And then one piece of tape dividing that half a sheet into quarters. So you're going to have, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 paintings today, like this. Sorry. Which way is, are they seeing it right side up when I do it like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just like that. All right, so what I want you to do is everybody get your paper taped and then give us a thumbs up. Please. And Sharon, if you're up there in Alpine, your package is on the way. I don't know when it will get there, but when they pick stuff up and bring it up to Alpine, it has a little label on it. Your package is on the way. Sharon made little artist trading card paintings that were just lovely, and she was looking for sleeves to put them into, so I sent sleeves to her. I'm not saying that Sharon is a star student or anything. But it was very exciting. It's exciting to see when people paint, you know? It was for me anyway. So today it's all about galactic skies. And if you go online into Pinterest, you will find thousands of examples of this. Also, if anybody did remember to bring salt, you can share it with people. I'm sure that the senior center probably has some. I'm sure that in the libraries that they might have some too. You guys have the benefit of me having salt, kosher salt. Julie, remember the paintings that I was looking for? You must have been gone. I spent like 10 days tearing apart the whole studio like I did that time when the camera was missing, not missing. And it was here all along. Okay, so this is what, when we, if anybody can locate salt, this is what we're going to go for with the salt. We're going to create a little texture in the sky. It's not a big deal because there's lots of ways to create texture. It's just one little added thing. A little added thing. I'm back in my happy place, so I may break into spontaneous song and dance. I apologize in the future. Not for that. See, I'm even wearing my new happy sweatshirt. Being happy and healthy is a revolutionary act.
Judy, do you have enough salt for everyone here? Because we have some.
I have, yes. You don't need, you need like 2 or 3 pinches of salt, so you don't need a great deal. But yes, I did bring it for these people. These people here. Oh, someone's singing over there. We should all sing. Okay, everybody's doing good. Now, next week, we're going to be doing a full-size painting, so this is kind of prepping you to work on a full sheet. But today, we're going to make 3 smaller paintings. And also today, I'm gonna let you play with green. I realize this is a watercolor landscape class, and we have yet to paint any green, you know. But this is landscapes according to me. I work out of my imagination more than anything. Life according to Judy. See, we're going to be doing beautiful green. Actually, your green won't be this beautiful because it's a different green, but we're going to work on it. That was kind of a mean thing to say, wasn't it? Here's a really pretty green too. We and Thane were gifted more chocolate today, so if you hear a little rattling of wrappers, that's us getting into our chocolate. I'm sorry for the rest of you. I hope that someone's bringing you chocolate. I find the chocolate is a necessary item when you're painting. Oh, I don't know if it will improve your trees, but it will improve your mood. You may not sleep tonight, but there you go. Okay, Thane is ready to go. Is anybody else thumbs up? Star Valley, Kemmer. What's Star Valley? Is that Afton?
Yes.
Okay. I should know at this point. Okay. How's Alpine doing? Cokeville, are you there? Oh.
I think Alpine's ready. And Cookville's ready.
Okay, we're ready to go. Okay, so everybody has their paper taped up. Now, in all the other previous classes, keeping my palette to myself, not showing everybody. In all the other previous classes, I've had you mix puddles of paint, okay? In this today's class, we're going to be putting a puddle of water on the paper and then adding paint to it. So the only puddles that I want you to make today are going to be black mixed with your ultramarine to create a blue-black. And also we're going to mix the violet. I'm going to mix the violet first to see how it goes. Okay. So I'm using my number 8 brush, not that that's a big deal. And I'm going to bring some ultramarine blue over. And then I'm going to drop in some alizarin crimson to make a violet color. We'll see how that turns out. I'm going to move that or I'm going to get paint all over it. Okay, so I've got ultramarine and we've talked about mixing on the palette and mixing on the paper. I'm going to mix a nice violet right here on my palette. I'm going to make a big puddle, okay? My violet, there we go. That's good enough. Let's see what it looks like on a piece of paper. There's my violet. Now, I've talked a little bit about the secondary colors. There are some reds and some blues out there that will create absolutely lovely violets, ultramarine and alizarin crimson. The ultramarine is would not be the blue that I would choose for the loveliest violet, but we're going to work with the colors that we have. So we're going to do alizarin crimson and the ultramarine, and we're creating a violet like that, okay? I would say that that's not enough. So you want about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of liquidy violet. Okay, so you can see that I'm continuing to mix. And there's a good puddle of violet. I'm gonna come over here and test how strong it is. And I am eventually going to be adding a little bit of black to that, but not yet. So I've got a nice puddle over here. I want everybody to make a nice big puddle of violet, okay? With ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. All right, I think that's enough for me. Okay, maybe it's enough. All right, then I'm gonna mix some of that black right here. And we've been doing this all along. Remember, I talked about how we're using black for all of our trees, but we're mixing it with a little bit of ultramarine just to give it, well, a nicer color, you know, because it just looks better with a little bit of blue. So I'm just adding a little bit of my ultramarine in there. And so I've got 2 big puddles, and that's all I'm gonna do today in the palette. All right, is a big puddle of violet and a big puddle of black blue. The ultramarine is your darker blue. The alizarin crimson is your, it's the red. The other cadmium red to me kind of lean towards the orange. So it's the cooler of the 2 reds, all right? All right, and when everybody has their puddles ready, give me a thumbs up and we're gonna start. Now, the last class, I finished a little bit early because we went to 2 hours, and I heard through the grapevine that we're back to an hour and a half today. But I planned for 3 paintings, so if we're at an hour and a half, everybody has to work chop chop. If we're at 2 hours, we can relax a little bit. All right. All right, so I'm gonna put this right here. And just give me a heads up when you're ready. Thumbs up, sorry. Heads up, thumbs up. And make sure everybody has their paper towels underneath their painting area, because today we are going to be dropping paint off the page. I don't know how else to describe that. We're going to be turning our painting like this and like that. What's the question? Still working in Alpine. All right. Thank you, Alpine. And you can see that in my palette, I have 2 mixing areas that are full of a puddle. So you need to have enough paint, okay? Of course, by the time we're done with this, you're gonna have dirty water. So I'm gonna go get clean water for myself. You should be all right, but if you might wanna get clean water. I don't know if they can hear me as I'm walking.
I didn't do that in there, and I put it through some.
Well, you're gonna look in there, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna.
Uh-oh. You're fine. I actually moved mine out of the way. I should have said that, so you don't spill. Okay, I'm walking around in Thane, and I'm seeing that a lot of people have very thick paint. We want this to be about whole milk or cream. We don't want it to be butter. You've got butter over there. Okay. You're good. You're a little bit thick too. I'm gonna just add a little bit of water to it. She just needs more than she's got. Okay. I was up and moving around. All right, when everybody has their puddles ready, thumbs up.
Camera's good.
Camera, all right. Now, what we're gonna do today, Macy, oh, the salt. If you have salt, this is where we're gonna wanna get it ready. So I'm gonna come around and give everybody a little bit of salt. Now, in Thane, I brought out kosher salt, okay? And again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop some salt into our painting. What the salt does is it absorbs the pigment. And so it creates this kind of texture, right? So that's what we're gonna go for. And everybody is ready to go, right? I think everybody said they were ready to go.
Ask them for a thumbs up again.
After what?
Just ask them all. if they're-
Give a thumbs up, everybody. Yes, ready in Alpine.
How about Cokeville?
Cokeville.
Everybody's ready.
What?
Yes, everybody is ready.
Okay, everybody's ready. Fantastic. All right, now we have 3 sections in this painting, and the first 2 that we're going to work on are these. These are really lovely little panoramics, right? This is what we're going to be making today. I keep doing that, don't I?
Mhm.
Sorry, I keep forgetting which way I'm working. This is what we're going to make. Okay, so what I've said that we've done previously is we had the puddles of paint and we brought it over to the paper. In this case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a puddle of paint onto the paper. I'm just making sure that I'm ready. Okay. And the first one that I'm going to do the colors that we're most familiar with that we've been working with all along. It's going to be our yellows, our reds. And then instead of coming in with the blue, black, we're going to come in with the violet for our dark area, right? Our trees are still going to be the blue, black, but the sky area is going to be violet. So what I'm going to do is find my water. Okay. And then what I do with it is I just drop water right onto my page. And what I do is I start in the upper corner, I come down to the center, and then I come back to the upper corner like this. So basically I'm making a V with water, okay? And it's just straight water. And you guys don't do this yet. Let me demonstrate it, and then you'll do it because you want to work really wet into wet. Okay, so I've got quite a juicy thing of water going here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a little bit of my lemon yellow, my brightest yellow, kind of in the center, but I'm just going to drop it. Everybody, yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but if everybody can see that I'm dropping it right into that water and letting it move around a little bit. Okay. I'm going to add even more water. It's going to be quite liquidy. And it can be intimidating when you first do this method, but don't worry. Don't worry, worry not. Okay, so I did lemon yellow, and then I'm coming in with a little bit of my new gamboge. Okay, and I'm going right along the edge of my lemon yellow. Okay, so I'm placing the warmer yellow along the edge of that. I'm leaving the bright, lightest yellow right in the center. Okay, and now I'm going to come in. Look at, I just did what Lynn did. I sprayed up there. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my alizarin crimson. And I'm going to drop the alizarin crimson right along the edge of that yellow. Okay, and you can see how it's spreading. Everybody see how that's spreading? Remember the class when we talked about how some colors really move and other colors don't? It depends on the mineral content. Okay, so I've done lemon yellow, I've done cadmium yellow, and then I did alizarin crimson. And now I'm going to go right into my violet, and I'm going to drop my violet and paint my corners in violet. Okay, just like this, painting my corners and going right into my red. The red acts as a buffer color. If I were to go violet right into yellow, I would end up with grays which we don't want, so don't do that. So the red, the alizarin crimson, is actually acting as the buffer color between the violet and the yellow. Okay, so kind of like this. Now this is where the mess starts, all right? So at this point, I've got it painted like this, right? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move it back and forth, up and down, this way and that, and I can't see what I'm doing, so, okay, and when it gets to, like this to me is just fine, this is lovely. I'm gonna drop a little bit of the blue black right into the corners just to darken that color, because as the sign behind me says, contrast creates clarity. So I'm dropping just a little blue black in there. And now I'm going to take a little bit of salt and I'm going to drop some salt right in there. If you have salt, go for it. If you don't worry about it. It's just an added texture. So this is what it's going to look like. What a mess, right? Just wait, it will turn out really beautiful. All right, so we're going to let that just sit. So everybody, I want you to work on that, on your yellows and your violets. Are there any questions? If anybody has any questions, just ask.
Did you sprinkle the salt on the whole?
No, thank you for asking. I sprinkled the salt only into the dark areas. You can sprinkle it all over everything, but not too much because you don't want it to be too aggressive. Again, we're going for that. Here's another one where the salt is in there. Yes, sprinkle salt in the, oh, good job. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like, oh, there's a message from beyond. Okay, so here's some more salt. All right. And we're just gonna let that sit. With the salt, you do have to wait for it to dry. And once again, I am gonna go in and tidy up my edges right here very carefully. And you guys have been working with these colors, so you should be good with that, those colors. And then the next one we're gonna do is gonna be the greens. Because I did realize I taught a landscape class without green. This is what my world looks like. Wow, wow. Okay, everybody give me a thumbs up when you're done with that part of it.
Just put the darker yellow in the center.
The lighter yellow is in the center and the darker yellow is on the edges of that. And you want to make sure that you have enough water there to get your paint to move. Remember, watercolor is a verb, and really when you get into the fun part of watercolor, it's when the colors are mixing by themselves right on the paper. It can be exciting and terrifying at the same time. Kind of like sailing, just saying. And don't worry if your dark area goes too far in to your color. You can manipulate it by moving it. You could even manipulate it by getting a straw and blowing on it, though we don't have straws. Julie's being a little wild with her reds over there. Wild child. The other way, there are many ways that you can create texture in a painting. You can also splash in just plain water, which will push some of the paint aside too. if you can look at my painting, where's that? Right here, you can see where it's starting to dry before everything else. That's going to create a blossom in my painting, which for what we're doing is just fine. It's when one area dries more quickly than the other areas. And when you're working really juicy like this, that will be something that you have to watch for. So what it's going to do is it's going to push the paint away that is more dry. So anyway, you can see what the salt is already doing there. It's already starting to absorb the pigment. All right, so everybody give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go on to the next painting. We're going to do all of our backgrounds first and then go in with our trees, which is what we've been doing all along. Wow. Cindy's is like this great, oh my gosh, the storm sky. I'm sorry, this really beautiful sunset. It's great. Do you see it moving when you're turning it around like that? You know, because we have 3 paintings on this page, you want to be kind of careful not to flip it up towards your other ones. Generally speaking, it will stay right within its area, but you still have to be cautious. Obviously, when I'm working on an individual piece of paper like this, it's much easier to do because you can manipulate it more. It's another one. Salt. Oh, I keep doing that. We need some kind of signal for me to remember which way is upright. Okay. Thumbs up from everybody when you get that far.
They're moving their board, so they must be dripping paint.
Okay, okay. Make sure you drip paint on your paper towel and not on the rug, or we'll be fired. We'll be ousted. We'll be, well, I have caused havoc in many areas across Wyoming. Green River, I got underneath an air vent and my staining color flew off of my page and right onto their carpet. The next year, they put all the painters on the gym floor, not on the carpet. Julie's is really beautiful too. How are you guys doing over here?
Just purple, just the dark colors.
Yes. No, but it's gonna be lovely. You just need more water. You just, yeah. To make it, you want the colors to mix together and you just need a little bit more water. Do we have thumbs up from everybody? You guys, for the green, go ahead and mix a little lemon yellow and green together. The green that we have is called a sap green, which means it has a little bit of yellow ochre in it. It's a little bit dull. We add a little bit of lemon yellow, it just brightens it up a bit more. And you won't need a lot of it. Look at that. Didn't I have this 2 whole weeks later? I still have issues with my red attacking my green. It's like the attack of the red. It could be a movie, probably not. Okay. All right, so thumbs up when you're ready. In your corners and just a little bit, just to darken the violet a little bit, unless you like it the way it is. So, okay. I tend to like to add a little dark to my edges and my corners so that when you peel the tape off, it just feels more cohesive. I don't know how else to explain that. There's another one, so pretty much like that one right there. One of the most beautiful colors that it is one of my favorite colors is called opera pink. This is an opera pink right here. It's absolutely
Fill the bottle of water. There's just-
Yeah.
So anyway, opera pink is a really, really lovely color and so much fun to play with, but it's what you call a fugitive color. So that any sunlight that hits it's going to fade it very rapidly. Okay, so, and there are colors that are like that. Generally, that's why watercolors got a bad reputation in the beginning, but now a lot of these colors are made synthetically and they don't fade as fast, but opera pink does. So I never put opera pink into anything that I'm selling. But if it's a card or something that I'm giving away, or if it were something that I was going to have reproduced, I would put it in there. And so anyway, that's just a little note about opera pink, which is, isn't it one of your favorite colors too, Julie? We all love opera pink. It mixes so beautifully with everything. We can get close to it with our alizarin crimson, kind of. Pretty sure I was working with Rose there. Turn it on inside. Are you which are you trying to move? Did you put the salt on already?
Yes.
Okay, just as an aside, you have to get the paint to move before you put the salt on. So if you've got the salt on, don't try and get your paint to move. Just hold it flat. You're good. We'll do the next one. That was my bad for not mentioning that. The salt is the last thing to go on, because if you're trying to move it with the salt on, it might work. Did you give it a try? You have new eyes. We're all looking at you today.
Not my fault.
Oh,
There you go.
you're gonna be fine. Okay. Okay.
But down, so you want to go here.
How's Alpine, Kemmer? Alpine's ready, Kemmer?
Almost ready. Coco's ready.
Is that everybody? Who am I missing? Oh, Afton, okay.
Oh, just.
I mixed a little bit of my sap green with my lemon yellow, and I did make a puddle of that for our green. What I was saying was that the sap green has yellow ochre in it, so it's a little bit of a dull green. I like to brighten it up with lemon yellow, so I did that there. It's not totally necessary, but we do want the lighter area. In all of these things that I'm painting, the contrast creates clarity. So what you need to have is you need to have a lighter area that's surrounded by the darker area, okay? So again, I'm gonna come in with on the next strip, all right? And I'm gonna do the exact same pattern coming down into the middle with my water, okay? And this time, the only two colors that I'm gonna be using are gonna be the yellow green, and I'm gonna throw a lot of that in. So see how much water I put down there? Okay, and now I'm gonna plop in my yellow green right down the center, just like that, okay? And then I'm gonna come in with my blue black. Might need to add just a little bit more green there to show. Make
What
sure.
color did you use to make the yellow green? Did you
I use lemon yellow and sap green. Okay, so this is what you should look like when you're at that stage, all right? Now I'm coming in with my blue black and I'm just gonna drop it once again along the corners. All right. And make sure you get it into your green area just a little bit. And then up at the top, like this. And then, as always, I do the corners too, so I'm doing that. And then I can just tell it's not quite liquidy enough. I just dropped some straight water right into there, and now I'm gonna move it. Oops. Okay. I'm not liking my black, so I'm gonna throw a little bit more blue in there. Just for some reason the blue didn't come out enough. Just a little bit more blue in there, which you can do, okay? And then coming in with my salt again. And just drop a little bit of salt. I'm gonna put some salt right in through my green, salt. All right, so this one was a little bit easier. You can see that I added a little bit of blue in some areas too, just to spark it up a bit. And then move it back and forth before you put the salt in. Though I may be wrong on that, it may be perfectly fine. So you should have two paintings like that look like this. I can't see what it said. Oh, did you type that again?
Yes, I did.
Someone's speaking to me from beyond. I'm getting text messages from the universe. Ooh, look at, I ruined this one over here. All right. So this looks like a total mess at this point, doesn't it? Trust me. So the whole object of this is to create a lighter color and value going through the center of our painting and then the darker edges. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight our trees in that lighter area. I'm just going to have to do it upside down for you guys. Sorry like that. So we're creating these light areas, and that's the backdrop for our trees. Contrast creates clarity. That's the light and dark. The light and dark of the colors, the light and dark of the background, and then the trees added on top. Another way you can create texture is by scrunching up a paper towel or something and just picking up some of your paint like that. That creates a little bit of texture too. You can take saran wrap and scrunch it up and stick it right in your wet paint and wait for it to dry and then pick it up and you get really cool textures. I don't think I have any examples of that here. I may have. But I have lots of examples of the salt. So again, that's that. I just think pink is really lovely, but I would never wear it. Okay, so everybody give me a thumbs up when you've gotten this far. And if you've gotten this far, congratulations. I did forget all about our little foreground area, but oh well. But it will. That one went better for you, Lynn.
Are we still tipping them?
Yes. When class is over, I'm going to tell you what I thought you said, and I knew that it was wrong. Because my hearing, I hear things that are quite bizarre sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure that person didn't say that, but that's what I heard. My husband, on so many occasions, because he's hard of hearing, answers questions in the most bizarre fashion, leaving us all with mouths agape, wondering what the heck is he talking about, you know? So I think that people who can't hear, like myself, you know, we should repeat what it is that we think we heard before we respond, which would alleviate all of those looks of confusion. Like, how are you today? Oh, the mountain was great. What? It can be funny at times, downright embarrassing at other times. Okay, so thumbs up from everybody, and then we're going to move to that big one. Woo woo, scary, scary.
Cameron has thumbs up.
Good job, Kemmer. Yes, I did. You don't have to. The salt is merely a demonstration for texture, so I did. The salt is, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's not, you're not optional, that's it. You're not obligated is what I knew was an O word. You're not obligated to put the salt on. Okay, so Kemmer's ready. How about Cokeville and Afton and Alpine?
Yes, everybody's ready.
Okay, good. All right, now we're going to move to our third painting. And on this one, these two we have done horizontally like this. Okay. This one we're going to do vertically. Like this. Okay. So I'm changing the orientation of my paper and I'm going to be painting it like this. I think you should be allowed to use whatever color you want on this one. So just decide what colors you want to go with. We've worked a lot with the yellows and the reds over here, okay? And so if you want to stick with that, all that I would say is you might have to mix a bit more of your violet color. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to do the same thing all over again. But for this one, I'm going to put water and I'm going to have the water go diagonally across the page. Okay. And in this case, I'm going to throw one more thing at you. Where's the tape? Well, I was going to have you leave a bottom, but I think I'm going to have you leave a bottom. I think you should try and do a horizon line right across like this. Okay. I should have put tape there, but I didn't. So if you want to put a piece of tape across the lower quarter of your page, you can if you want to. Otherwise, just do a diagonal right across, okay? And then I'm going to go back in with the same colors that we've been using all along. I'm going to go in with my yellow right through the center. Again, I did clear water first, then lemon yellow right through the center like this. I'm coming over with my cadmium yellow and I'm hitting it along the edges and see how it's flowing right in there. I'm using quite a bit of water here, okay? And so I wanted that to really run smoothly together. And that's why I put a lot of water in there. And then I'm coming in with my alizarin crimson again and hitting just some of that in the edges like that, okay? Pretty loose, and then coming in again with my violet. And again, you must work really, really quickly so that you're getting it all wet at the same time, and you'll get that nice flow and really loading up. I'm using my number 12 brush for this because it's a bigger area and I really want to load up. I'm also seeing that my violet is not quite dark enough, so I'm going to just darken it up a little bit by adding a little bit more pigment to my puddle. You see how I got darker there? It really is not the most beautiful violet on the planet, you know, but that's just the nature of, you know, when you get more acquainted with colors, you'll know how to mix better secondary colors or buy a tube. The tube purple's really pretty, okay? And then I'm gonna throw a little bit of dark color right in on my edges. And then I'm gonna move this baby around, hoping that it doesn't go into my other paintings. And if it doesn't move enough for you, actually, this is moving quite nicely. See how it's getting this kind of flow going across? I'm gonna leave it right as is. I would like my outer areas to be a bit darker, so I'm coming in with a little bit more blue and black. And just darkening it up a little bit because it does create a nice contrast. And again, I'm leaving the lower part of my painting undone. And I think I would leave the salt out of this one, though it would be way fun to put it in there. Okay, and I'm moving it just a little bit more. Okay, so I've gone from not dark enough to too dark. Now, again, I don't know if you remember, I said this quite a few weeks ago that all watercolor generally will dry about 20% lighter. So sometimes when I'm teaching a watercolor class, I'll tell people that if it looks right when it's wet, it's wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So if it's wet, if it looks right, it's going to look wrong when it dries because it is going to dry 20% lighter. Okay, I just added a little bit more red there because I'm really unhappy with that there. Well, unhappy. I'm not really unhappy. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it right like that. And you can see also that even though I was turning it, what I created down here was a bead of water and paint. It did not go into the area that I wanted to be unpainted. This is one of the cool things about watercolors. That if you want to control the paint, one of the ways to do that is to put water down first. Generally speaking, the color will not go past your water. So you can turn it this way and that way. See if I can push it a little bit so you see it's not going down. Okay. And now I'm going to leave it like that. Oh, the heck with it. I'm going to drop some salt in there. I'm in a salty mood today. I'm going to just drop a little salt in there. Okay. Okay. So everybody can give me a thumbs up when you've gotten that far. I'm going to go around and look at what everybody's doing here. My gosh, were these tables white when we started out? Just kidding. Just a beautiful, beautiful color. How did you do that? Did you get a better red than me? Oh, you too. You are like Storm Sky City. Watch out for that. Don't get it on your shirt, my gosh. Good, 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 good.
And that would be.
Yeah, you still are just. No, you're not. Change to number 12. I want you to get a lot of so much water I have in there. To really get your water in there. That's the only way you're gonna get rid of it. Borrow some of my Bible with your Bible. So you really need to load your brush up. Really need to push it in there and get enough paint on there for you to move it adequately. Go ahead. See, can you hear that paint on the paper? That's a sign that you don't have enough water. If you can hear it. So you should be pushing paint and water across the page. Yeah. I'm having just a little bit of water first, so we don't end up with that hard line. Just that hard line. It's because it was starting to dry up. We'll both do it. Okay. Takes two to tango. Just watch the program with their tango. Why did that come to my vocabulary? I'll tilt it around. I maybe just add a touch of your black right in around the corner, and that will darken it up a little bit. I come over here and do some of this black, but you don't have it on right there. Well, don't screw it up. Okay. Good. Don't screw it up. No. I'm saying with water. Yeah. A little more. Nice thing going. Okay, you did not screw it up. I did not mean to say that. It just slipped right out of my.
It's the best one ever.
It's the best one ever. It's my
favorite.
favorite so far. I don't screw it up. I mean, not that I don't. Okay. Okay, so we've gotten this far. Okay, when everybody gets this far with all three looking just like a total mess, well done. I did. See, I steal brushes. I would have gotten home like, I have 2 number 8s. How did that happen? Okay, so did someone just give me a thumbs up, or was that you? Was that you chatting with me again, Kelsey? Okay, good. Okay, so now we have to knock the salt off. We're gonna go back to the first one. And what I want everybody to do, just to make sure that it's dry. And again, I would normally never do this with one of my watercolors, all right? You can dry it more quickly with a heat gun or with a blow dryer. It's better not to use either of those methods when you're working on a painting, but you can do that to speed up the drying. And in this case, what I'm going to do is lay a paper towel over that just to make sure that if I have any puddles of water that I'm picking them up, and then I'm going to knock the salt off. Okay, now if you go to knock the salt off and your paint is smearing, then you need to pick it up with your paper towel. Okay, so now I'm just knocking the salt off. Like that. I think just on that, the first one we did, I don't think the second one is dry enough yet. Okay, so this is the first one with my salt knocked off, okay? And now we're gonna paint the exact same kind of little landscape that we've been working on all along. Everybody's getting so good at deciduous and conifers. So the other thing I want to do in this case, because I forgot to do that, is we're going to plant a tree line. I would say give it about, go about 1/3 of the way up the page. Remember the rule of thirds, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a real fast, I was in the wrong color there. I'm going to do, oh, sorry, I'm mixing paint over here where no one can see me. I'm going to do a real fast line. I'm just going to paint. If you're very quick with how you're painting your first tree line on this, then you can draw a black line. Otherwise, I think you should just paint your trees without the black line. But I'm going to go right like this, right across, and do this a line as a guide. And then I'm going to come right in and just paint. I'm not even going to give these trees any shape. All I'm doing is creating a background of tree shapes, but they are not even defined as anything other than blobs at this point. They're going to be my background trees, my trees that are in the far distance. I'm using a relatively light value compared to the rest of the painting. Okay, oops. So I'm just kind of making points and coming all the way across, varying the heights, just like this. This was spontaneous. This is not what I meant to do today at all, but there you go. Okay, so I'm just coming across. All I'm doing right now is creating a horizon line of tree shapes. It's not even that well defined. Oh, I'm sorry, and I'm using my blue black, and I'm not using it the full value. I did it quite lightly. So you can see already that I have just this line going across like that. We're going to let that dry. So I just worked really quickly, and I did blobs. You know, it just painted blobs. We're going to do a second group of trees right on top of those blobs. I can't believe I'm saying blobs. Okay, I want everybody to paint blobs on a horizon line. All right. Make sure you knock your salt off before you start painting. Otherwise, you'll be painting with salt. Okay. And then I want you to do the exact same thing on the second painting that we did. I'm coming in and I'm making sure that any big puddles of water are picked up. I'm knocking my salt off, and it was a little bit wet over here, so I'm picking some of that excess up. And then knocking the salt off. And then in this case, I'm gonna not put a horizon line down and just start painting my trees. And I'm gonna use the blue black again. And this time I'm gonna come in with some big trees on the edges. just like that. And everybody is getting really good at trees, so don't mess it up, you guys. So I'm doing a few trees that are right up front in my corners. I did a large one in the corner and then a smaller one, and that's all I'm going to do there. The rest, I am going to, actually, I think I'm just going to go with a few more of these trees right across, and then I'll do some stick trees. I'm not going to put a horizon line on this one at all. It's going to come across like that. Okay. All right, so those are the two that I have started so far. Look at that. Isn't that like ethereal? I just think these skies are so cool, and well, I think they are. And galactic. I think they're galactic. They're kind of the aurora borealis. My initial inspiration for this was a picture in the Jackson Hole Daily that was of an aurora borealis. And so the auroras can be quite green, and then you'll have violet. And so I challenged myself to figure out how to get from green to violet without creating mud. And it's the buffer color of blue. So always a buffer color in there to get you from one complementary color to another without getting mud. I can't wait to see what Julie does with that wild painting over there. Okay, I'm gonna get up and jump around. Jump, jump, jump. Look at you go, it's beautiful. And look at how good your trees are. Look at all those air holes.
Sitting next to.
What's her name?
Yeah, what's her name?
Oh, you too, very, very good. See how they really stand out against that color?
Yeah.
Are you like, don't come over here?
Yes.
Was that what that was?
Yes.
Just bring your trees up a little bit.
Because it wasn't dry, so I got.
This is a very forgiving technique, in my opinion. Having made hundreds. It's a fun thing to do, to sit down and make these. I make them for Christmas cards. If I want to do this anyway. And I am teaching a Christmas card class on December 16th and 17th here at the community center. You can call me to sign up. You can sign up now if you want. It's $50. It's $50 for a 3-hour class. You get 5 cards with envelopes and chocolate. The chocolate's for the stress, as you know.
Oh, so you just fancy cards.
Well, it's the same. It's the same. Well, it's these, but you just fold them, right? Without all the tape, obviously. It's really a lot. It's really a lot of fun. I've done it. I think this is my 3rd or 4th year doing it. But my first year not being online.
You said it's the 16th and 17th?
16th and 17th. Friday, it's one or the other. So it's Friday from 3 to 6, and Saturday from 10 to 1 here at the community center. Oh, that's right. You've taken it.
I have, and I was wondering if the girls are gonna be around to do it.
Oh, I hope so. How old are they now?
16 and 13.
So last time they were 13 and 9. That must have been it, something like that.
Yeah.
They were so much fun.
Oh, they still are.
So they're just edging into teenage years.
Yes.
Okay, so when everybody gets done this far, then we're going to work on this one. Does anybody have anything that they want to show me yet? Or is everybody just working really, really hard because we only have a half an hour left? Okay, So my top one has dried enough for me to come in and make some darker trees right on top. And I am going to switch to my liner brush at this point. My paints are such a mess, I can't even tell what color is what here. Okay. So I'm coming in right on top of the blobs. Oh, I took a class from someone who called her painting blobs. Okay. That's a chunk. All right. So I'm coming in right on top of those and just painting darker and taller trees to create a little bit of atmospheric perspective. So right on top of those trees. Maybe another one over here. I can't wait to see what everybody has done. This is kind of agony. So just once again, painting trees. Okay. So you can see how those distant blobs create kind of a distant forest, and then the trees that are painted darker are bringing it closer to you. And you just have to just figure out where you want your trees, and then also, of course, we're going to put some of the what do I call them? Those dormant trees in. They add a lot to it too. The deciduous trees without leaves. Holy moly, don't do it this way. Do I say that a lot when I'm doing my own painting? Don't do what I did. Remember to connect all the branches. Okay, so again. And also remember that even though it looks like a real mess right now, when you pull the tape off, it's going to come together as a painting. All right. So we've worked on these two, and now on this one where I've left the bottom, I'm going to come in and just for ha-has and teehees, I'm going to throw a little bit of green down there because I did promise you some green today. A novel idea to have green in the landscape. We see more shades of the color green than any other color anywhere. It's our color of nature. So I'm just putting that a little bit at the bottom. I have no idea how it's going to look. And I left a little line right there. I'm gonna knock my salt off. You can see I smeared a little bit, so I'm going to come in and make sure it's dry. Knocking my salt off. And then for this.
Alpine is asking if they need, on painting number 3, if they need to remove the tape that they put to the bottom.
Thank you, Alpine. Yes, you do need to remove that tape. And then paint the bottom. You can paint it in green like I did, or you can paint it in yellow, whatever color you want. Thank you. I forgot all about that tape. All right. And then just come in with some, what did I do with this? I have to look at my own painting and go, oh yeah, I remember what I did now. Okay. Oh, my moment of brilliance. Okay, so what I did with this one was I painted a line of really small trees in the distance and then larger trees up front. I'm going to repeat that here. So I'm going to come in on my distant horizon line, and I'm going to paint small trees back there. Doesn't have to go all the way across, remember, you can just put a few trees. That one was bigger than I meant it to be. Another small one, okay. And then I'm going to plant like a really big one just coming over in the corner like this. The really big ones in the corner are like you're standing right in the trees and painting. I've got wet paint down here, so I screwed up. Don't worry about that though. And then maybe another tree actually leaning in. I've leaned both of my trees in. I need to counter that a little bit by putting a straighter tree in. Okay, okay. So generally speaking, like that. Okay. And just continue to work on all three of these with putting trees in, and we've got 25 minutes to go. We want to finish our trees with enough time for us to put in some snow. Snow or stars, whatever you want to call them. Okay. I thought you were going for more chocolate. I thought, uh-oh, she's stressing out going for more chocolate, but it was your tape. Oh, you ate that the first thing? Did it help?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I told you. So all you're doing is painting trees, and you make a nice composition by making not all the trees the same. You change the distance, you change the height, you can change which direction your branches go in. And just keep creating your tree line. Okay. And some of the deciduous trees. Well, everybody is very, very quiet here in Thane. They're concentrating or disgruntled. I don't know which. Are you guys disgruntled or concentrating? Now we're going to have a really big snowstorm this afternoon and tomorrow, right? I think everybody should be practicing their paintings at home during the snowstorm. Maybe because what else is there to do other than go to work for the people who are still doing that sort of thing? So just painting along. Sometimes too, the background that we put in, I just see trees in it. So sometimes I just go by what my paint mixing together has already created. Like to me right here, this is already a tree shape. So I just add a tree on top of it. I don't usually use the rigger for trees, so I was making it a little bit slow. Tree, 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 tree. Okay, and just so you can see how lovely it's going to be, you of course we made 3 paintings on 1 page, so you're going to have to take it home and cut the piece of paper out. Okay. So again, you can see when I take that tape off, how this turns into a sweet little landscape. I mean, look at that. Anybody would be happy to get that for Christmas. Oh my gosh, Lynn. Oh my gosh. Now I had a student who also happens to be my neighbor, and she was having the same feelings. Oh, they aren't going to like it. They aren't going to like it. And after she sent all of her Christmas cards out, she called me up and she said, "You won't believe it. All of my friends have framed my painting. So you see, and she did some upside down, Lynn. She did, because the cards were folded at that point. You know? They didn't even know. That is a little humiliating when they don't know that your painting is upside down. I had a gallery that hung one of my paintings upside down at one point, which I thought was quite funny. Back in my abstract era. Okay, so I just have painted a bunch of little trees. Don't forget to add your stick trees. We'll just call them stick trees. Uh-oh, I took my tape off. Look what I did. I just painted right up into my, don't take your tape off until you're done painting your trees. Don't do what I just did it again. Don't do that. Don't do that, people. Don't take your tape off and then paint up in your white area. What a silly thing to do. Okay. Does anybody have any paintings that they want to showcase? And how about Kemmer? Kemmer, do you guys have any paintings done yet that you want to show? Kelsey, you thought you were going to go someplace?
I just thought maybe. So it looks like no one's ready to.
Okay, okay. I know I kind of rushed you today. Boy, that really didn't turn out. Well, it's all right. Wow. Brilliant. Look how good this turned out. Yeah, really. And for this one, even though it seems really dark right now, when we splash the white on there, it will bring it out. Okay. Oh, good. Look at you go. Go there. You're stylizing your trees. There's nothing wrong with that. Put a few up. There, just little ones. Little ones. What are you looking at?
Oh, tree line up in there. Tree line and then big trees.
What did I do?
Tree line and then big.
Tree line and then big trees on this one. Sometimes I have trouble finding the camera. So I did like little trees on the distance tree lines and then bigger trees coming up. And then here's where I mucked up this. Look, I can't believe I did that. I'm just going to put my tape back on there so I don't do that again. Paint some more of these. And remember, when you're doing your deciduous stick trees, to make sure that all your branches are connected. Did I hear someone moan over there? It was a sigh, not a moan. And remember too, that if you just keep painting without reloading your brush, that your trees will get lighter, and that will also lend some distance to your painting, some perspective. As the trees get lighter, they go back in the distance. Okay. Maybe just a few baby trees. Okay. Okay, I can handle that. I'll take that tape back off. Now, if you wanted to add, I know that we worked a little bit on shadows on this top one. We don't have a real direct source of light, but if you wanted to add some shadows, all I would do is just take my black and angle my shadows out a little bit from the trees like this. It adds just a little bit more to it, to the painting. It's not necessary by any means. You don't have to do it. I'm kind of sorry I did. Because it was a nice painting before. But anyway, so you can add, it does add, you know, kind of a lightness to it. It does bring it out a little bit more. So this is the first one with the tape removed again. So I have to remember not to paint this. And then the bottom one. I could do a lot more with that bottom one. This is all about sky. And I know the class was billed as a landscape class and it did become a lot about the sky. But this one was all about night skies and the texture that you can get there. For those of you who are getting ready to put your white in, go ahead and mix up a little puddle of white for your snow or stars, whichever you want to do. We already have quite a bit of texture in there from the salt if you have used salt. So the white paint, when we splatter it on, it can be stars and it can also be snow. Sometimes it's kind of arbitrary. I don't know if I have any with snow on it. Oh, here, oh, there's, okay. So here's one with, even though we have all of this activity going in the sky, I put snow in it too. Okay, so the way you do snow is snow or stars is again by splattering our white paint. You can also take an X-Acto blade and flick little spots out. All right. I just feel like this one needs more. This one needs just like a big tree somewhere. We're down to the last 10 minutes. Nobody has anything to show yet? Julie, you get up and show your painting. Look at how I just put that right on you.
Okay, where are we going? Come to this one here.
Just come and stand in front of that.
How many highlights?
Does anybody else want to be put on the spot? Lori, how about you? You want to be put on the, oh God. Cindy, how about you? You want to be put on the spot?
No.
Okay, I'm back on the spot. What am I doing on there? Okay, so anyway, I just felt like I needed to have some more, this tree, wait, where am I? This tree come up a little bit further. So I just increased the size of that. I'm going to take I'm not going to take my tape off because I have to put the snow in. I forgot the snow. Okay, anybody else? Anybody in our other locations have anything to show yet, or are you all working furiously to get this done?
They look like they're all working.
All right, that's good.
That's good.
So I kind of planned this to be a 2-hour class because last time, as I said,
Alpine has one that they want.
oh, yippee, I can always count on you guys. All right, let's
All
see.
right, Alpine, go ahead.
Wow, look at that. I love it. Good, good, good. Is the tape still on that one, Sharon? It looks like they got better tablecloths on their table. I wonder, uh-oh, I see someone, look at, she's put the snow on right there. I see you putting snow on. Good job. That made me want to get to my snow. Okay, I'm cleaning the thing now to put my snow in. Where's my white paint? Oh my gosh. Okay. One of the things you can use to get the salt off too is, if you're having trouble, is a credit card. Sometimes that salt will really stick. Okay, so I'm doing my white. And then oh, I just turned my snow black. City snow. I have my moments. Okay. So again, for your snow, you just take some white, add a little bit of water to make it so that it will come off of the brush. And then you do the tap, tap, tap.
Right? Yeah.
We have 2 people here having entirely too much fun.
Angels, see?
Oh, I do see the angels. As a matter of fact, I have tried to put angels in the sky of these things. You made a spontaneous angel. The painting, it's the angel of good paintings. Tap, tap, tap. Now, remember what I said, Cindy, about that, your really dark areas being saved by, I think that happened in the card class too. Some people would be kind of, oh, it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. And then they put the snow on and they went, oh. And I think I mentioned this, that if you have a painting that really, you're kind of really unhappy with, you whip out a toothbrush and put the white paint on that, that creates a blizzard. So your paintings can be saved by a blizzard. Okay, and that's a toothbrush. That toothbrush will give you lots more. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take my tape off. Oops, let's tape that after. Okay. As always, remember to pull the tape away from your painting. I always have you in my head, Julie, saying step away from the car. Were we someplace where that happened to us?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever I say pull the tape away from the painting, I hear you going step away from the car. Where were we that that happened? Did we get too close? Maybe in Las Vegas or someplace? Might have been that Friday, that one Friday. Friday of the wedding dress. the dress for the wedding, not the wedding dress. Boy, that just went out on YouTube. Let's see how the rumors fly about you now. Did you hear Julie bought a wedding dress? Okay, false rumor, you guys, don't spread that around. Okay, so here we are. I've taken the tape off and you can see that I have two lovely paintings and one not so lovely. This one needs a lot of snow. We're going to be putting a lot of snow on it. It calls for a toothbrush blizzard. And again, when if you buy your own paint, be sure and buy a good tube of violet and a good tube of green. Because even though you can mix the colors, it's just sometimes easier with a secondary color to use a tube paint. Orange is pretty easy to mix. You can see that we've gotten really good oranges with our yellows and our reds. The green is not bad when you add yellow to it, but the violet, well, I guess it's really not all that bad. But it is a little bit easier when you have better colors. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. So then you're just going to take this home and cut it, or actually what I do is I put a ruler down and I tear it. I don't know if a plastic ruler will do it, but so there you go. Okay. So with watercolor paper, generally speaking, I like on my bigger paintings with bigger and better paper, I would just tear. So if you hold a ruler down and then just pull it right across, you can just tear it. If you're insecure about that, then go home and cut it. Okay. And this is called just a torn edge, which was done a little bit unevenly by me. Okay. And then this one. So now we have our three paintings. Anybody else want to showcase? How about Kemmer? Where's our Kemmer crowd? What about Judy and Afton? Judy and Jenny, I think, or Jennifer. And then Cokeville. What about Cokeville? I'm going to be really sad if I don't get to see other people's paintings. Is anybody jumping up?
Everybody's still just working, it looks like.
All right. All right. Does anybody want my ruler to attempt to tear? Now, when you add that little napkin to your outfit, Cindy, then you're moving into geriatric territory, okay? With the bib. I only do the bib thing at home.
The lobster, yeah.
It's the lobster, especially if powdered sugars in any way involved. There's usually, because that's just like, it's so obvious. Well, our class,
Are we over?
I think we're done. I want everybody to bring paintings next week so that I get to see them. I just heard a rumor that we were only going to 1:30. I mean, Richard didn't say anything in the beginning.
Let me check.
I mean, I don't imagine that anybody's going to be throwing us out or anything.
It's, let's see, scheduled from 1 to 3 p.m. next week. Okay. I don't know if we just did extra or.
Well, the last class was supposed to be a longer class because we're doing a bigger painting. And then this class was supposed to be a half an hour longer too because we missed one,
Oh,
but it's all good.
okay.
I think everybody will finish. Nobody has any to showcase, so I want people to bring paintings next week so I can see it. I mean, not that I want to harp on about Cokeville, but what did you do? I mean, remember the hills she did last time? That was just so amazing.
Cokeville is showing. Here we go.
There we go. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I don't know what to say when the student does better than the teacher. Well done, you. That's really great. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cokeville, you got a huge thumbs up. Some of ours with our yellow skies, especially I'm looking over at Julie's, it looks like a forest fire. I sent one of those cards to my sister and she lives in California, so she was frightened by that painting.
Oh, so she's used to it.
Because it looked like a forest fire. Well, I guess we're done then. Bye, everybody. See you now. Oh, wait, next week we're doing this. This is going to be our last big painting. Okay, so this is what we're doing next week. And this painting is going to fit into your mat. So you're going to actually have a matted finished painting next week. Okay, don't be frightened, Lynn.
Can you bring it to this one?
To this one. This is what we're going to do next week, and we're going to have a mat board that's going to go around it. All right. So we're going to use tape as resist for our trees. We're going to do our background, and we're going to do our shadows and snow and our little trees. We're going to have 2 hours to do it, and we're going to do it. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. There we go.